Now, a lot of the genesis of your ideas obviously comes from a spell you had living in Northern California around San Francisco,
right,
and looking at Silicon Valley and Stanford and Berkeley universities there. Why does it have to be a new university? Another thing in your book is you do acknowledge that local and central government contributions and I guess approval will be required, but also the private route is the way that you propose to go. And you're very keen on it being on the Auckland waterfront as well. So if you could just tell us why.
Yeah, or step back even from that one step further, in that if we want to become a global innovation hub, and I don't believe in the idea of a regional innovation hub in the 21st century. You're either a global innovation hub or you're not an innovation hub at all. But if you want to become that, then the thing that we're missing here, in terms of you look at the Northern California experience, the Auckland region, New Zealand generally, very similar to Northern California. Friendly, outgoing, liberal, experimental people, a great lifestyle, wine, food, skiing, sailing. The missing, or the difference between Northern California and New Zealand on those scales in terms of attracting and retaining talented, well-qualified, ambitious people, is do you have great universities here that will draw people in at the age of 18 or at the age of 25 when they're looking to do a PhD, feed them into a cluster of technology companies as it happens in Northern California, and provide them with a lifestyle that even once they reach success, a level of success, they don't want to go back home again from wherever they came from across the globe. They want to stay in Northern California, start their own company, and achieve their own level of success, and on and on and on. And you look at the New Zealand experience, the thing that we're missing are those great universities. Now, how do you go from good universities to great universities? In the book, I outline there are some real structural reasons why a university in New Zealand, currently public, would go from that good in the 100 to 200 level in terms of international rankings to top 20. There are some strong structural reasons. The first one being that you have to cut the baby 8 ways. If you were to get the national government or the government to agree to an increased level of funding, the obvious question from Canterbury, from Otago, from Victoria, from Lincoln would be, what about us? That's the first problem. The second problem is the installed base. You're obviously looking at a step change in terms of the quality of professors and PhDs at the school. You would have some pushback clearly from those that were already there. The third problem, I think, is that there would be a question if you're going to start raising hundreds of millions of dollars and then to compete at a global level billions of dollars over time. Why is the government continuing to subsidize this institution when it already has X number of dollars in the bank? So therefore, you've almost got a crowding out or a substitution problem with government funding. And the fourth problem is a university that's been a part of the community for 125 years has a broad number of local stakeholders, convincing them that the single most important task, perhaps the only task, is to develop, to get into the top 20 in terms of rankings is difficult. So in my view, the easiest way is to start with the greenfield approach and start from scratch.
Well, look, thanks a lot for coming in, Michael. That's Michael Parker, and we've been discussing his book here, The Pine Tree Paradox, Why Creating the New Zealand We All Dream Of Requires a Great University. And I'm Gareth Vaughan from interest.co.nz.
Thank you.